Rob here and welcome to the second of my build videos on the Tamiya Holiday Buggy DT-02 chassis. Today I'm going to continue on building up the rear diff and probably installing it onto the chassis. Step 8 is making up the motor ready to install and also prepping the spur gear ready for install. Now, as you know, I'm going to be using this Sport Tune motor, but for all those who don't have a spare motor, I'll show you what you're supposed to do with this, but I'm not going to actually install it. So in step 8 we need to take this little beast here, which is H3, and then a couple of these BA12s, and we need to get them to slot in. You pop the cover in like so, and you have to locate it over the protrusion in the motor, and then you take these two BA9s and hopefully you can line up the holes. Or not. So then, if we carry on, shall we say, if we have a look at this diagram here, down here, if I move it up, we've got this part here, H5, which we need to install, and I believe it's possibly right. This piece is double-sided taped onto here, but it's meant to go in this slot here. But it's not fitting at all easily, unless it just rests like that, but I can't see. I would be happier if it slotted in more, so rightly or wrongly, because I said I'd show you, I'm going to cut a bit of this off. It shouldn't be too difficult, just to see if I can get it to slot in better. There we go, let's give that a try. Yeah, that fits in a bit better, he thinks. So, it's still not massively clear. Exactly where it goes. So, I think it's meant to go at the bottom and then press on like that, and then it should, I believe, when you line it up somehow, so it should go like that, if you can just see that. But we're doing away with that, and I'm simply going to install this. And on the back here we've got two sets of holes, one for a 17 pinion, which that one was supposed to be lined up with. I've got these two 19 tooth pinion gears, so I'm simply going to stick it in to the 19 teeth holes once we get to that bit but we're doing that. I forgot I haven't built up the spur gear for you, which again is a fairly easy, simple task. We've got a BA13 and two 1150 bearings, and again I'm using the ball bearings, so I'm not going to grease them up, and they just slot in again either side, not the tightest of fits, and then the BA13 bar goes through, and that fits in to this hole here, this way round, and then you need to locate the bar, and obviously it'll need greasing up, so I'll get that greased up ready, and we can move on to installing the motor. Spur gear is installed. I've yet to grease the outer gear, but the inner gear is already done, and it's just now a case of installing the motor. As I say, I'm using a 19 tooth gear, so we take part BA7, spin this round. Sorry, I've also got the heat protector, cardboardy fiberglass as used to be, cover on it, all ready to go. So we just line the holes up and screw the beastie in. And the second one, I'm not sure, oh there it is, I was looking at the wrong hole. And there we go, and give it a nice good tighten up. I don't tend to use thread lock on motors. I know I'm probably jinxing myself, but so far at least I've never had a problem with those screws coming undone. And then we can just take one of our gears. I think that one might be a bit too long, this one here, if you can see, it's a lot wider and a lot longer. I'm not even sure where the hell I got that from, but we'll see. No, it doesn't fit at all. And even trying to slide it on that way, no, so that doesn't fit. So unfortunately I thought I'd got some steel 19 tooth pinions screen spare, but I don't appear to have. So I think I might need to do it this way round. Yeah, I think it'll go better that way round. Yeah. So we get our little Allen key and screw the grub screw in a bit and see if we can slide it over. No, I've done it up too much. Nip it up just to check. Yeah, that should be okay. Maybe pull it out a bit if I can get that under. No, can't. Yeah. And I don't know about anybody else. Let me just nip that up so it Most of these motors I've found do move in and out a bit, but I'm happy with that. So I'll get that greased up, and I think then we can move on to step 10. Step 10 is installing the gear cover, and as you can see I've greased the spur gear and the pinion gear, and then we just need to take A2, which is the cover, and as you can hopefully see there, I've pre-greased the mating surfaces, and it should just be a simple case of lining this bar up with that hole, as long as the bearing doesn't fall out, and just slotting it in place, giving it a bit of a squeeze because there is a lip on A2, and then it's just a case of using 3 BA8s 3x10mm screws and screwing it on like so. Oops. So we'll get that done, and we can carry on. Step 11 is attaching the lower arms, or wishbones, or A-arms, and again for this we need 2 D6s, and again there's a note to cut off the mould tree at the ends, and you also need to check the orientation. So the gearbox is upside down because these are the lower arms, but you're fitting them like that, and hopefully they will go together. Oops. And lovely. And then we can move on to step 12. Step 12 is installing the upper wishbones, A-arms, and also the diff output cups, which should be fairly easy, and hopefully with the amount of grease I've got in the diff might hold them in a bit. So you just poke them through the holes, if you can see, and then you just need to keep turning until they slot in, if you can. It's not going in, this one. I'm not finding the slot. There we go. There's definitely some tight spots there, but it's easing up, so maybe it's just the casting. I did read somewhere that Tamiya had moved their manufacturing plants from the Philippines or somewhere around there back to Japan, so maybe it's something to do with that. I don't know, but yeah, there's definitely tight spots there, but we'll see how we go. Right, so coming back to the upper A-arms, get the orientation of your gearbox and check the orientation. There's nothing to tell you which way's shall we say forward, so you just need to line it up like so and pop it in there, and then we should have 2 pins. Yep, those are the ones, B5s, like so, should he say. There we go, come on, you can do it. There we go, and again we just tighten them up, and we can then move on to the next stage. Step 13 is installing the rear axles. So we've got the diff here, we've got the right orientation. I don't think it really matters though in this instance. And we've got 2 of B2s, and we need a bearing and one of the output shafts N1. We can pop the bearing over and we can pop it in like so. Quite a firm grip there, fit even, that's the word I was looking for. And then we can, using the longer of the 2 screw pins, we can install the axle into the lower wishbone. Then we can get a dog bone, pop it in, line it up, and using the shorter screw pin, again going in from the back of the chassis when you put it all together, we can put that in. So I think I'll do that for both sides and get back to you. Okay, so with step 13 complete, the rear gearbox is almost complete, bar the shocks, but the main thing is that completes parts bag A, or metal parts bag A. So I think what I'll do is I'll call a halt there, and we'll start a new video on parts bag B. So with that, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and hope to see you on the next one. Cheers, bye!